Hello. Some of you are afraid to own the shadow side of you, the dark side of you, the part of you that you have always been challenged by, because you believe that if you own that part, somehow you will become the bad guy or the bad girl or the bad man or the bad woman. So today I want to talk about how far away from truth this is. The reason you are not owning the part of you that is already shown up, that has already shown up several times in your life, is because you are afraid that you will not get the approval and acceptance of those you love if you owned the part. And that is actually true. You will not get the approval you may not get the approval of those you love. Because what I find to be very true is that as long as you're wearing the mask and pretending to be that which you are not, people will also pretend to be accepting you and loving you. And the moment you step away and break out of the mold and say, I'm going to own the part of me that I have pushed away for many, many years, they're going to say, you're going to own which part? And they're going to drop you maybe like hot potatoes. Okay? And this is what you are fearing when you say that you do not want to integrate the part of you that you consider or judged to be bad within yourself. But the interesting thing about this is that it already exists inside of you. So by you not accepting the part of yourself that already exists inside you, all you're doing is creating more resistance in your internal environment, resistance to moving through situations in life, resistance to life experiences that are going to keep showing you that you have both parts in you as much as everybody else has both parts in them. And then you run around and look at yourself and go, why do I constantly bump into parts of me that I do not like to face? Why am I unkind to this person when they push my buttons? Why do I lose it when they push my buttons? So what I'm going to tell you is that the more you keep running, the stronger the messages will get from the universe, and the stronger it will start to come into your awareness, because the universe actually loves you for who you are. So the fundamental belief shift you must have is that by owning the parts that you consider to be not good inside of you, you continue to hold a judgment inside of you for something that you already possess and will never be able to get rid of in this lifetime. Also, secondly, all we are doing in this body of work that we all undertake in this lifetime is to actually bring more conscious awareness to the parts of us that we have disowned, so that when they come up to conscious awareness, we will be more selective of where to apply that part. We will become more aware of when to apply that part or when to go to that trait. So when we remove an experience from our animal brain and put it into our conscious brain, which is in the prefrontal cortex, where we are balanced, objective, and rational, we are not likely to take something that is a trait that we consider could do harm and do harm with it. Instead, we are more likely to look at it objectively and say, how can I use this in a way that actually serves? Now, the other side of this is also any time we are exhibiting a so-called positive trait, what we haven't gotten in the habit of doing is we haven't seen the downsides of us actually exhibiting that positive trait. we think there are only upsides, and that is actually an illusion. There are downsides to what we consider to be positive traits in us. If we think, for example, that we are being kind to somebody, in the moment that we are so micro-focused on being kind to that person, we are actually not being kind somewhere else in our lives. If you really pay attention to what you're doing, when you evaluate yourself as being kind, you will recognize this in utmost clarity, that when you are kind to somebody, you are not being kind somewhere else in your life. So an example in my own life, when I'm micro-focused and working with my clients to help them come through some of their life experiences or traumas, you might say, I am not focused on my dog, who is also wanting attention from me. Therefore, I am unkind to her in a way in order to be kind somewhere else. This is the game of life. I want you to see that you live in contrast. You live in opposite experiences. You are never going to be free of opposite experiences in this lifetime, because opposite experiences are the mechanism through which you realize your deepest desires and intentions on this planet. So if you didn't have the opposite experiences, if you didn't have the opposite traits, you will not be allowed, you will not have the mechanism to move forward into a desirable state of living, into what you want at the greater level of your soul. You will not have the ability to step into it. This is why the universe loves you exactly as you are, because the universe's intelligence already acknowledges this as part of your existence. So the solution is for you to actually step boldly in and see how the so-called negative trait, the so-called negative experience is actually serving you in your highest values. When you can start doing this consistently with your past experiences, and when you can also do this consistently in your present experiences, you start to live in the present moment. When you live in the present moment, neither one of the polarities of the traits or experiences that you are having will take you out of your zone, the zone of love. Have a good day.